Well, hello everyone. Hope you are doing well on this fantastic Friday. It is Friday, May 22nd, and you are seeing this because you are in the window treatment marketing secrets group. If you're seeing it and you're not in that group, please consider joining the Facebook group, Window Treatment Marketing Secrets. And it doesn't cost anything. It is a private group. You just have to request entry to that. And of course, you probably should be a owner of a window treatment company, awning company, something along those lines. So it is Friday. Thank goodness. I have two training sessions that I am attending today. Not that I'm running, and then I am going bike riding at 3 with my cousin. So kind of excited to get the holiday weekend started and just kind of relax and enjoy finally some warmer weather. So anyway, today we are going to talk about getting started. So a lot of people that are joining the secrets group, one of the questions that we ask is, what are you struggling with? And a lot of the answers are around just getting started. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get started. And there is so much stuff in digital marketing that I can't blame them, right? It's overwhelming. I don't know. Should I just boost a Facebook ad? Should I call an SEO company? Should I write a blog? Well, what do I write about? There's so many things, right? And it gets overwhelming and you end up not taking any action. I understand. I probably spend an hour and a half a day going through YouTube and blog posts around digital marketing and just what's changed in the past day, to keep up with things. So I can't imagine trying to run a business and keep up with all that at the same time, right? It's a little bit much, but that's part of the reason that I do these Facebook Fridays. Part of the reason that we publish blogs on Window Treatment Marketing Pros, and part of the reason that we do our training once a month, those sort of things. So kind of keep you guys in the loop and keep you guys knowing what's going on, up to date with trends, things like that. So before I get going on how to get started, I wanted to mention two things. First of all, I've got 3 books left, a whole 3 of them before I have to order another set. Actually, I've already ordered more. But if you want one of my internet marketing plans for window treatment company books, just go to wtmarketingpros.com/book and plug in your info there, and I'll stick one in the mail to you. I've got a small stack of about 8 or 9 that are going out today. And I saw a couple more requests come in, so thank you for those. And I'll get a copy of the book out to you. If you want to know how to get started, this is a great way to get started. It has all kinds of ideas on it, all kinds of things that you can do, things that you can optimize, things that you can change, things that you can build, upgrade, all those things. So lots of things you can do there. Secondly, on May 26th, we are doing our yearly website critiques, which is a lot of fun. So businesses around the country like yours submit their website to us, and then we pull it up live and then we critique it, good and bad. If you can handle the cringe of not having a great site, but understand it's not great and want to learn from that and have others learn from it as well, I'd love for you to submit your website. I'm not going to be mean about your website, I promise. But go ahead, submit your site, and we'll pull it up and we'll kind of go through it, and we'll give everybody some pointers. If you don't want to submit your site and you just want to get some ideas of things that other people are doing, your peers are doing around the country, then just sign up for as an attendee and watch that. Either way you want to do it, the links are both wtmarketingpros.com/training. So that's where you would go to both submit your website if you want to, sign up as an audience member, and watch the training. Hopefully you learn something. These things are always very well attended. because it's kind of like looking into somebody's home, right? You want to see what their life is like. You want to see what's going on. How is it different than yours? What can you learn from it? What can you improve on? So that is May 26th. wtmarketingpros.com/training is where you would go for that. All right, let's get started with getting started. That sounds funny. So the first thing that I wrote when somebody is getting started might go a little bit against the grain of what we do, and that is building websites, right? So the first thing that I wrote down was get a website. However, I'm going to back up and I'm going to put that as number 2. So number 1, and I apologize, the birds are singing today. Number 1, the most important thing you can do to get started, and probably what I'll say 85% of you haven't done, is build personas. And I don't mean just build them in your head, right? Well, I know who my audience is. You need to write it down. You need to solidify that as something in writing that you can see, something you can modify. And by in writing, I mean it could be a Google Doc or a Word file, or you can write it down if you have any of these fancy things that they used to use all the time. But however you do it, document it so that you can start to understand your audience and you can start to talk to that audience. Now, not everybody's going to have one persona. You're not going to say, well, my audience, my people that buy from me is everybody. Well, it's not everybody, right? It's a specific group. Okay, where are they located? Well, they're probably in a specific city, geographical area, first of all. Second of all, well, it's people with homes. Okay, so people with homes could be homeowners. It could be renters. Are renters going to purchase window treatments and fix up their home? It's unlikely, right? Some might, but most are probably not. So that's also not your audience. Your audience is probably homeowners, and maybe it's even affluent homeowners in certain zip codes that have the money to buy the nice items that you create, right? Not all parts of your city or your area are going to be able to afford what you're offering. So start to drill down on that a little bit and even get into, what is their typical day like? Are they married? Do they have kids? And if you don't know, go back and look at the last 10 or 20 customers and start finding commonalities. And that doesn't mean that every single customer that you need has to be married with 2 kids, right? But it gives you a very defined person or avatar or persona that you can then start creating content around, right? Adobe is one of the first companies that I've heard of that was really into this when they were building, like the Photoshop suite. Well, they would have different personas of different ways that people use Photoshop. Somebody like me can get in there and do some stuff, but not anything fancy. Then there's graphics designers that are in there all day and can make some fantastic looking stuff, and then there's business owners that just need a phone number on a graphic changed or something, right? There's different levels. So when they would go into a meeting, okay, who are we talking about today? Well, we're talking about Becky, the power user, or something like that, right? So they had an idea of who they were talking to when they were talking about the features and the benefits of their package of their software that they were building. So same is true for you. There are a certain type of person or people that are going to purchase from you, and you really need to document that. Now, if you also offer commercial window treatments or awnings, that's a different customer. If it's commercial window treatments, then it might be a business owner, right? That might be part of the persona. Or it could be a facilities manager, possibly, right? Those people are going to be looking for your services in a different way than somebody that's looking for a residential new drapery set for their living room, right? So understanding that persona, and then you'll be able to start creating content that matches who that, and you'll be able to talk to that person, and they will resonate on the other end. Okay, they're obviously talking to me. They obviously know what I'm looking for and what my needs are. I'm going to click this contact button and fill out the form or whatever. So number one, getting started, build a persona or a avatar. Now I'm going to put a comment down in the link below this particular video that goes to one of our persona worksheets, and you can grab a copy of that, start filling it out, and start thinking about this. And like I said, think about your last 10 customers, and think about the customers that you were the happiest working with, right? Those are very important because those are the ones you want more of, right? So they're out there. So download the persona worksheet and start going through it. And that is the number one tip when it goes to getting started. Getting started isn't always fun, but that's a very actionable step that you can take that will work into everything else you do. Even if you do a website or billboard or radio ads or whatever it is, it's all going to build on that persona. So, okay, enough about that. Number two, then, which I've already alluded to, is get a website. A lot of businesses, I can't believe this is true, and I can't believe I'm saying it, but a lot of businesses are still relying on Facebook or Instagram or Pinterest as the main way that they're generating views, eyeballs, engagements, those sort of things. And that's tough because you're building on rented land, right? If they decide to change something, you're at their mercy. Whatever they decide to change it to, you have to deal with it. If you have your own website on your own platform, on your own domain, then you have control over everything, right? It makes it so much easier and better long-term investment, quite honestly, than building on somebody else's land or somebody else's platform, if you will. So a couple things I want to talk about when it comes to getting a website. By far, looking at my notes here, by far you need a WordPress website. WordPress is running around 30% of all websites now online. And that number is even higher for service-based industries, because if you take out things like e-commerce platforms and stuff like that, WordPress is by far the best. It's also the easiest to optimize. It's search engine friendly. It is easy to update. If you know how to use Microsoft Word, you can probably get your way around WordPress pretty easily. So definitely consider having a website done on the WordPress platform. Secondly, make sure that you optimize that for local terms. Every single day I pull up different window treatment or awning companies around the country, and their homepage just says, "Welcome to ABC Design," or something like that. There's no keywords in there. There's no mention of location. I can't believe how many times I have to go searching just to figure out where the business is at. That should be very obvious, and that would also send signals to Google about where you're at, right? So welcome to, well, I wouldn't even use welcome to. I would just say window treatments in Las Vegas. That would be my number one biggest thing on the homepage. That's going to send signals back to Google of what your website is about. And at the same time, somebody lands on that page, they're going to be like, yep, I'm in the right place. So don't try to be so cute and fancy and clever. Go after the keywords. That's going to get you the traffic. So time to be technical when it comes to that. You can be pretty with the design and some other stuff, but when it comes to copy on your page, it needs to be specific. So optimize for local terms, local cities, that kind of thing. I would probably shy away from counties. I see that a lot, serving Jefferson and Franklin County. Nobody really searches for that, right? Nobody is going and typing in window treatments Jefferson County. Most likely they're doing window treatments near me or window treatments in Townsville, right? Whatever town they're in, that's probably what they're going to do. So having those counties named, probably not a great idea, probably just a waste of time. You might rank for it fairly quickly, but if nobody's searching for it, who cares, right? So optimize for local SEO terms, geographic locations, add those. Now, don't go spammy and put Townsville on every single page. That's gonna dilute your efforts over 20 or 50 or 100 pages or however many you have. So you want to be a little bit specific about it. But at the same time, you want to have those in there for sure. So next, if you've done those things, another thing to do is look at your website for calls to action. And this is a pretty big one that I see a lot when I'm looking at sites. Scroll through your page. Well, first of all, pick a random page, any page on your site. Okay. Scroll halfway down on that page and see if there's something that tells you what to do next. Is there an obvious next step? Is your navigation sticking to the top and there's a phone number up there? So it says, call us now, schedule an appointment. Is there a button in the middle of the page that says, schedule your appointment now? Something along those lines. Is there an obvious next step? No matter where you're at on your website, there's always an obvious next step. If there isn't, get that fixed. Okay. That's a big one. Don't make people search for your phone number. Make sure that they always see it. It's in the header, and that header sticks to the top of the page. So as they're going through your gallery and they're looking at 3 or 4 pages worth of stuff, you've convinced them that you know what you're doing. Now all they have to do is, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and call them. They don't have to start searching for a contact us button or something like that. Have it easily ready for them, no matter where they're at on your website. All right, next, and I'm going to actually come back to this one a little bit later, but build a list. And what I mean by building a list is start a newsletter, start taking in people's email addresses, because we're going to talk in a couple minutes here about the fact that not everybody that comes to your website is ready to buy. Not everybody is coming just to pick up that phone and contact you to set up an appointment for a designer or something like that. It's very possible that they're just researching the options. Maybe maybe it's an apartment manager and they need to get 10 new awnings down the block, 2 stories, for their building. And they're researching companies that could possibly do it. They might look at your gallery and see if you have done something like that in the past. So don't think that everybody that comes to your website is a purchaser. They very well could be researching, ideas. They could be researching who to contact to actually engage with in business. Have you done this particular thing? Do you guys offer this service? That kind of stuff. So it's very important that no matter where you're at, you're trying to grab those email addresses. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But having that list lets you reach out to these people, stay top of mind, tell them about specials. Lots of things you can do by having a list. And there's money in building a list. So if you like money, build a list. All right, we'll come back to that. We're still under Get a Website, by the way, and things you can do to your website. Next, add Google Analytics. If you haven't already done that, make sure that you go to analytics.google.com, set up an account. It's free. Get that little tracking code and put that on your site so that you can start seeing who's coming to your website, how much traffic you're getting or not getting, and what they're doing, where they're spending their time. I did some training on Google Analytics. So once you have it set up, go to wtmarketingpros.com/training, find our analytics training that we did, and watch that. It'll give you all kinds of ideas of things that you can be paying attention to get new ideas for content, to see where there's problems with your website. So make sure you do that. And secondly, sign up for Google Search Console, which used to be called Google Webmaster Tools. But sign up for that, also free. That's at google.com/webmasters. And you have to verify your particular domain name. And once you do that, then you'll get a bunch of insights from Google about your website, and some cool stuff like keywords that you're ranking for, but nobody's clicking your result, keywords that you're ranking for, keywords that you're not ranking for, how much traffic you're getting, how many impressions you're getting on Google, whether people are clicking it or not. So with analytics, you only get data of people that are visiting your website, right? With Search Console, you can get data of people that were exposed to your website, but maybe never clicked over and for some reason didn't click over. So some really cool information that you can get in there. You can also upload your sitemap. You can track any crawl errors, any problems that Google's having with your website. Some pretty cool stuff in there. It's free. So make sure you get that set up as well. And lastly, don't waste money boosting Facebook posts. And I know it's tempting to toss $10 at it and get those likes up and get those couple comments or shares or something like that. But at the end of the day, it's not generating revenue and you're out $10. Is there some brand recognition? Yeah, probably. But is it really worth it? Maybe. It might be worth it, 8 or 9 steps down the line, but it's not worth it if some of these other things haven't taken place. Okay. It's important to get these things in place because these things are going to generate leads. Boosting a Facebook post probably isn't really going to generate very many leads, to be honest. So, okay. That's number 2, get a website. Number 3, I mentioned again, get a list. And this goes in conjunction with number 4, which is offer a lead magnet. So if you've got a website, you've optimized it, you're getting decent traffic, you know who your personas are, you're talking to the right people, then what you can do is offer a lead magnet. And a lead magnet typically is something that somebody can download it's typically download, right? They can exchange their email address for this download. And this download is a design guide. It's a how-to for different kind of windows, ideas. Maybe it's a gallery of projects that you've done for odd-shaped windows, something like that. Maybe it is a catalog of some of the fabrics that you offer, something like that. Maybe if you have retractable awnings, it's a small catalog of the different ways that people can configure them for their deck or something like that, right? So something that people can download and they are willing to exchange something of value, in this case, their email address, for that piece of content. So that does both. That is your lead magnet, which is number 4, and that builds your list. So everybody that downloads this thing, you're going to add to your email list, right? Because as we said earlier, a lot of these people are in research mode, not in purchase mode. So giving them that information, of course, it has your branding at the top. Of course, it has your phone number on each page of that PDF or whatever it is. You are now solidifying yourself in their mind as the experts when it comes to whatever that was they were looking for. So it's a fantastic thing. You're building your list. You're building a lead magnet or a PDF or something one time and reusing it over and over as people download it. You're building that list. You're reaching out to that list, things like that. So that's 3 and 4, super important and definitely can drive return visits, keeps your business top of mind, which is important for people that were in research mode and 2 months later, they're finally ready to buy. So those kind of things are good. All right, number 5, start adding content and content that matters. So it's important that you're not just adding content just because you think you need to, right? You're writing, a paragraph about something that happened today, or you're doing, you're taking a picture of something that happened around the office or a new product or something like that you're getting ready to do. Those are great social media type posts, but content for your website needs to be a little bit more specific. It needs to have a keyword in mind that you want to rank for that you're currently not ranking for. It needs to be valuable, so it probably needs to be long, right? It probably needs to be in the 800 to 1,000 word range. because what you want is people to come to your site again and get value from your brand, from that experience. Okay. If they're not in research mode, then getting that value gets that logo in front of them, that kind of stuff. And of course, on that page is an option for them to sign up for your lead magnet, right? So build content that matters, build content that helps you rank for a keyword you didn't have prior to that. And it keeps people on your site longer. One of the things that Google tracks is how long people are on a page. Time on page is a metric that Google watches, and you should as well in your analytics. But watching those things, both from Google's standpoint and from yours, tells you, okay, people enjoyed this content. They digested it. Another thing you can do is build a video that matches that content. Put that up on YouTube. Put the right titles, tags, and things like that. Now you've got a presence on YouTube. You can embed that video into that middle of that content or that blog that you have, and just keep people on your site even longer, right? As they digest more of your content or consume more of your content. So number 5, create content. There are around 4 million blog posts published every day. That's a lot of noise, right? So you need to be specific about what you are creating, what you are publishing. All right. And last and not least, I mentioned also before, is start to track your changes. Get analytics set up, get your search console set up, and start to put together some metrics of things that you want to track. Okay. So in April, we had, 300 visitors. In May, we want to shoot for 350. In June, we want to shoot for 400 or 410 or something like that. And as you start to make changes, as you start to optimize, as you start building content that is keyword related, you'll start to see those increases in traffic. And then say, okay, now we're going to track leads. Well, we got 12 leads last month. We want to get 14 this month. And next month, we want to go to 20. And next month, 25. So start to track these different things in tools like Google Analytics. Also, you can use some sort of a web ranking tool. If you're not one of our clients, if you are, you get those reports. But if you're not, look for a web ranking tool where you can plug in 10 different keywords that you want to rank for and see where you rank in Google for those keywords. Track that over time so that you can see your progress. It's nice to be able to see your progress, and that progress in higher rankings will also result in more leads, more traffic, right? It's just going to be a byproduct of the work that you've done. So make sure you track those changes. You might want to check out some cool tools like crazyegg.com or hotjar.com. These are click tracking tools that show where people are clicking on your site, and it makes kind of a cool heat map. Those things you can learn, people are clicking on this menu and they're going to the fourth one down the most. Well, move that fourth one to the first one, right? Make it even easier for them to find it. So there are things you can learn on those click tracking tools, heat map tools as well. So there's a couple different ideas for tracking your changes. And overall, hopefully this video, which has been a little bit longer than usual, helps you with getting started with your digital marketing campaign, with starting to put things in place to move forward, get more leads, generate more revenue at the end of the day, right? Now, of course, if you think, wow, this is a crazy lot of stuff to do, this is overwhelming. I have 3 installs today and don't have time for that. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Just a short 15-minute discovery call, talk about your goals, talk about your future, what you're hoping to do. Are you hoping to sell in 10 years, retire? What does that look like? I'd love to have that conversation with you. And you can do that by just setting up a strategy call with me or a discovery call at wtmarketingpros.com/strategy. And you can pick a time on the calendar and we'll just dig in and talk about it. So thank you again for jumping on today. I really do appreciate your time. If you're seeing this outside of the Window Treatment Marketing Secrets Facebook group, then I implore you to go look that up and join us. We do these Facebook Fridays all the time. I'm not going to say every Friday, but most Fridays. The birds are singing again. And I really appreciate all of your time. Hope you have a great weekend, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.